The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.
Hello, thanks for joining us. This is TV1 News. I'm Mary Silla.
And I'm Terry Longwood. I'll be back with a sports segment later on in the bulletin.
In this edition, Ramu people display self-reliance. Lava girl prepare for explosion fashion. An African karate youngster wants to rep PNG. Assistant Commissioner of Police for NCD and Central, Anthony Wagambi Jr., has condemned the act of two men who murdered their biological fathers in separate incidents, saying the act is inhumane. According to the police brief, the first incident happened on January 17, 2023. A man from East Sepik was murdered by his 41-year-old son. Investigations revealed that the incident occurred due to land disagreements between father and siblings. The accused hit his father in the ribs with a rock, causing severe injuries, leading to his death. The accused was on the run for some time and was caught just recently. The second case occurred 3 days ago at Sabama. A 22-year-old murdered his father by hitting him in the neck with a rock. The young man was allegedly intoxicated and causing a nuisance. His father intervened, asking him to stop, but this led to a fight and the older man's life was taken in the process. The alleged murderer was arrested and is in police custody. ICT Minister Timothy Massiu has updated that the draft National Media Development Policy is expected to release version 4 towards the end of April next month. Massiu says by May this year, should legislation be proposed, the department will initiate the process. Minister for Communication and Information Technology Timothy Massiu says the department will be publishing a consultation report. Massiu says the consultation itself has led the department to undertake a serious nationwide survey to better define the media landscape and ascertain data necessary to consolidate issues highlighted in the recent consultation workshop. The minister says version 4 of the draft National Media Development Policy is expected to be released towards the end of April this year.
Expected to be releasing a version 4 of the draft policy towards the end of April. This version 4 will be subject to further feedback, and I expect to take to Cabinet as early as May, and should legislation be proposed, we would also start drafting process in May.
Massiu reminded the House that the policy is not about regulation, but rather building capacity and recognition within the media profession.
The intent of the draft National Media Development Policy is to establish an enabling framework to recognize and develop the media sector in Papua New Guinea to support our development agenda.
The draft policy currently identifies 4 main objectives that include facilitating and coordinating access to information for citizens and ensuring the media provides accurate, impartial and balanced reporting on issues of public interest, including those affecting marginalized or underrepresented groups, and ensuring media organizations adhere to ethical and professional standards, and promoting responsible journalism that will respect local customs and cultures. Police officers from Central Province arrested 9 men over the weekend for possession of 20 kilograms of marijuana. The drugs were destined for Port Moresby. Police officers were patrolling the Hiritano Highway when they were notified that a group of men believed to be transporting the drugs were traveling to NCD from Tapini, Central Province. Central PPC Superintendent John Meady said the police officers were conducting a stop search on vehicles along the highway and cited 9 men on board a Toyota Land Cruiser. With information on hand already, they searched the vehicle and confiscated the drugs. The suspects and their cargo were taken to the 15-mile police station and detained. PPC Media said the suspects, all from Goilala, were between 22 and 52 years old. He is reminding the public that penalties for drug-related offences have increased and includes more than a year jail time for drug possession. Parties to the Oktedi Mining Project Memorandum of Agreement on March 24 successfully concluded the week-long MOA review in Alotau, ultimately initialing the MOA. Agreements were reached in the areas of special support grants, royalties, and equity, amongst others.
The review into the Oktedi Mining Project Memorandum of Agreement concluded well in Alotau, Milne Bay Province. The initial-led MOA document will go to relevant government agencies for vetting, including the Treasury Department for Equity Matters and the State Solicitor's Office for legal clearance before it goes to the National Executive Council for a final approval. Acting Managing Director, Mineral Resources Authority, Jerry Gary, in his closing remarks, said he was impressed with the level of intelligence displayed in the negotiations by leaders of the parties involved. He urged the leaders to manage expected benefits prudently and ensure that benefits translate into tangible development for their people. Leaders of the various beneficiary parties, including manager for the Star Mountains LLG, Papin George Naden, and Mount Fubilan Resources Owners Association Chairman Joshua David, collectively expressed satisfaction and joy on the successful conclusion of the review, adding that they would work together for the common good of their people. The parties to the Oktedi Project MOA are the National Government, Fly River Provincial Government, Star Mountains LLG, and the Mount Fubilan Resource Owners Association. Oktedi Mine Limited, Kumul Minerals Holdings Limited, and the Mineral Resources Development Company attended the meeting as observers. Secretary for the Department of Mineral Policy and Geohazards Management, Harry Kore, was instrumental in explaining the legalities of the process and ensuring that the parties understood the different sections of the MOA document. Salome Vincent, TV1 News.
The East Sepik provincial government aims to take control of PNG Power Limited in its province. Minister for International Trade and Investment and Yanguru Sausia MP Richard Maru revealed this during the opening of the new East Sepik Provincial Specialist Hospital in Wewak on Monday. He said with world-class equipment, continuous blackouts will result in this hospital equipment being destroyed. Minister Maru stressed that even generators will not help the situation if power outages continue. He said East Sepik needs a power solution and expressed gratitude to the provincial leadership and all members of parliament from East Sepik who have agreed to take over power responsibilities from PPL for the betterment of the province. Minister Maru called on Prime Minister James Marape to support their call, including that of other provinces as well, to take control and ensure a reliable power supply. Remote communities in the Lower Ramu area in Medan province for the first time on Sunday, March 26, welcomed the provincial governor Ramsi Pariwa, who witnessed the opening of one of the church buildings erected by the people. In a display of self-reliance, Dagit and Wankit communities proudly displayed two beautiful and decent buildings for worship, through funds derived from the sale of dried fish and betel nut.
Medan Governor Ramsi Pariwa made a rare visit into remote Dagit and Wankin villages along the Lower Ramu River. He flew in on a helicopter and traveled on an outboard motorboat to get to the villages in Ward 35 of Yawar LLG, Bogia District. The area is only accessible by river transport. Despite their isolation, these communities were able to build 2 church buildings. Dagit Primary School Board Chair Francis Ruirak said, with the support of the parish priest who provided a sawmill, they milled 2 quilla logs to build a church and 2 permanent classrooms for the school. They also sold the wood to other communities. During the opening on Sunday, March 26th, government officials pledged 25,000 kina to complete the interior of the church as well as purchase music instruments for church worship. Governor Pariwa could not make it to Wankin on time, but he did get to Dagit to participate in the event. He told Dagit community his government would connect them with the road link as part of his plan to link all remote areas to access basic government services. After talking to the community at Dagit, Governor Pariwa traveled downstream to Korkam boat stop where he met with more people before getting on a vehicle to return to Medeng town. Frida Kana, TV1 News.
This is TV1 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
With BSP Internet Banking, you can enjoy your banking at home, at work, or wherever you are. BSP Personal Internet Banking allows you to view your accounts and transactions, transfer money, bill pay, schedule future payments, or access your bank statements. Visit your nearest BSP branch to register now. BSP Internet Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
Whether we're playing sport, exercising for fitness, being active for work or play, just having some fun, or just chilling, there is one name we can count on that we know will keep us going strong. Skell Rice. Healthy, nutritious, delicious medium grain rice full of vitamins and minerals. Skell helps us maintain a healthy, active lifestyle so we can enjoy every day.
Skell Rice. Skell Life.
Open nets.
When you're spending time with family, when you've got a big day ahead, when you have given it all you've got, when you're putting on a feast, that's when you want the best. That's when you want Flame Rice. New Flame Rice. Win him, Olgeta.
Fabric of our state, a state bound by one dream, one colour, one team.
And the battle resumes. Right on the money. It's on in the back plane. It's on. There are punches. The Magic Man from Newcastle.
Well, folks, after literally years of negotiation between the fan and the management of Steve Menzies, we have secured the great man for the show. Welcome to the fan.
This is all going through my head, and then all of a sudden he passes it back. Oh, my God.
Today we have enlisted the help of Panthers co-captain and superstar halfback.
When you've kicked a ball, you usually know, and especially on the chip kicks, I usually know.
Thanks to Nathan Cleary, invaluable insight for the fans out there, for the kids out there.
Welcome back. For the first time, the PNG-owned Lavagale brand will have a Lavagale Explosion fashion show to show the journey of the brand as well as celebrate the fact that Lavagale is every woman. The show will be on the 6th of May and will be a platform to support PNG-owned businesses that have been chosen to participate.
The young girl from Lily magazine.
PNG-owned Lavagirl brand will have its very own fashion show for the first time. The Lavagirl Explosion fashion show will showcase the journey of the brand as well as celebrate the fact that Lavagirl is every woman. The show will be on the 6th of May and will be a platform to support PNG-owned businesses that have been chosen to participate. Manager and creative director of Lavagirl, Annette Sete, shared that the idea and planning of the fashion show was on for 2 years and now sees that this could be the right time.
It's the first time that we're able to have a show that is ours, a runway that is our style. So it's interesting plus scary as well that we wanted to do this ourselves. So we have several partners that have come on with us to actually help us do up the stage, help us get the models ready for the event and all that.
Sata shared that the designs tell a story that may be related to the growth, inspiration at the time because of an event, a trip, and the notion of staying fresh or coming up with something that Papua New Guineans haven't seen yet. Tickets will be sold this Wednesday. Jasmine Ero, TVWAN News.
Manager and creative director of the Lavagale brand, Annette Sete, also spoke up about copyright matters in the business. Just recently, Lavagale was certified as a registered trademark in the United Kingdom, which was a major achievement for the brand. She added that Lavagale is serious about copyright. All its 65 staff members do not wear copied designs and feel strongly about protecting brand rights. Sete is appealing to everyone to be genuine and original and continue to push for and fight for copyright for local creativity in all genres of art.
We took Tropicana to court for infringement on our copyright on the wheel table, which is a current matter, so we hope to get a decision in June. And we may sue another corporate in the next few weeks if discussions outside of court doesn't go well. So copyright, we're quite serious about that.
With the focus to progress a beneficial partnership for tourism in the country, a meeting was held between Air Niugini and PNG Tourism Promotion Authority executives to share ideas, challenges and opportunities that will encourage a more collaborative approach toward tourism development. Air Niugini's acting Chief Executive Officer, Gary Seddon, recognized the efforts across the industry to restart tourism after years of uncertainty and restrictions. Also present for discussions was PNG TPA CEO Eric Mossman Uvovo, who indicated that TPA would be willing to establish an MOU with Air Niugini to commit to a series of tourism initiatives that build on existing products across the country, with Air Niugini offering to support greater access through a competitive range of airfares. The Internal Revenue Commission and BSP Financial Group Limited this afternoon signed a Memorandum of Understanding. This partnership now establishes guidelines for both parties to enhance the efficiency of the current procedures for compliance with statutory notices issued by the IRC. The terms of the Memorandum of Understanding entered into by the Internal Revenue Commission and BSP Financial Group Limited this afternoon outlines the responsibilities and duties of each party, defines key terms and concepts, and sets the collaboration principles between the parties. IRC Commissioner Sam Coim says this is a first for such an agreement between a bank and the IRC. Coim says this move is one of strategy.
So this is the first of its kind to forge such a strategic partnership with a bank. Banks contribute significantly to enhancing the collection of tax and also to address tax compliance challenges that we face in jurisdictions like ours. And we regard them as a strategic partner.
Commissioner Koim acknowledged the significance of established banking mechanisms and systems.
We consider the banks, especially BSP, as a bigger placement in the country. It's a locally grown bank and also has a bigger customer base and all of this. So without the banks, we can't administer tax. That's how critical it is to our role as a tax administrator. So.
BSP Financial Group Limited CEO Mark Robinson says the MOU took some time to finalize.
MOU took some time, I understand, over a year or so. We've had teams that have worked to finalize the details. As the Commissioner said, we're thrilled in the country to be able to deliver world-class banking services to our clients, and that, of course, is our first priority. Alongside that, we're obviously both a taxpayer ourselves, and obviously, comply with all the laws and applicable regulations, including taxes in the country. So, to reach an agreement like this, bring transparency to that role that we play, and ensure that we're being a good corporate citizen with respect to the taxing authority.
CEO Robinson clarifies that the MOU does not mean that BSP will be sharing customer information with the IRC.
We don't share customer information unless we're, it's subject to a court order or something similar. Sharon?
Furthermore, IRC Commissioner Koim clarified that BSP Financial Group Limited will only act under compulsion if and when required by the law, and also only by statutory compliances issued by the IRC.
BSP, their duty as to confidentiality is to their customers, but where the law compels them to provide that information, then they do. And that's why we issue the statutory notices pursuant to the provisions of the Income Tax Act. And they basically comply with the law. It's not like the bank feels that today I need to give this information to IRC.
You're watching TV1 News. Stay tuned for more news around the region after the break.
Experience a convenient and smarter way to do your banking with BSP Mobile Banking. You don't have to leave the office or your home to pay for bills. You can view your account balance, transfer funds, top up phone credits, or purchase Easy Pay units wherever you are. Visit your BSP branch today to register now for BSP Mobile Banking. BSP Mobile Banking, the smarter way to bank. BSP, our bank, our people.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Hi, with the help of Palmolive Naturals shampoo and conditioner, with these 3 quick and easy tips, I'm going to show you that more natural, beautiful hair is achievable. Step 1, massage your scalp during washing with shampoo. Step 2, apply conditioner to the tips of your hair. Step 3, gently towel dry your hair. There you have it. For natural, beautiful hair, use Palmolive Natural shampoo and conditioner. Have a great hair day.
A quick favorite meal for the day does feel good. Snacks noodles is my choice for a simple meal. It is easy to prepare and fast to cook. And with a touch of flavor and ingredients, quality noodles that can be cooked and enjoyed in many different ways. You see, my whole family loves it. It's made here in PNG and comes in different pack sizes. Snacks noodles, tastier but you like it more.
When skin tends to lack natural oil, it is termed dry skin. Refresh and rehydrate with the Neutrogena Hydro Boost range. Here's a simple 3-step routine. 1. Hydro Boost Cleanser. It is gentle, won't clog pores, and adds moisture to the skin unlike soap. Step 2. A moisturizer, such as this one, for replenishment. Step 3. Bright Eyes. A specially formulated eye roll-on. Infuses moisture around the delicate eye area. And there you go. Be beautiful, be you.
Here we go. 2-point field goal attempt from Cleary. He's done it. Nathan Cleary sends us to golden point. Super Rugby Pacific. The pride of the Pacific Islands on display.
Welcome back. Turning overseas, Cook Islands Prime Minister and Forum Chair Mark Brown has joined a growing list of Pacific leaders to object to the $250 billion nuclear submarine deal between Australia, United Kingdom and the United States. The AUKUS project will allow Australia to acquire up to 8 nuclear-powered submarines, has been widely condemned. It has also fueled concerns that the submarine pact will heighten geopolitical tensions and disturb the peace and security of the region. With Cook Islands set to host this year's Pacific Islands Forum in October, Brown, who is PIF chair, has hinted that the conflict in nuclear submarine deal is expected to be a big part of the agenda. There are fresh concerns about data security after Latitude Financial revealed its cyber hack earlier this month was far larger than originally reported. The company now says around 8 million people have been affected.
Reserved apology to its customers, many who say they feel confused and frustrated over the announcement yesterday. In an update that was provided to the ASX, the company said they've revised their previous estimation of only 330,000 customers that may have been impacted by the data breach that occurred on March 16th to nearly 8 million people who have had their driver's licence, both Australian and New Zealand, compromised. They also confirmed that more than 50% of those licences were provided to Latitude over the past 10 years, and almost 53,000 passport numbers had also been affected by this hack. They say potentially 14 million records have now been affected. It follows the announcement that a law firm has joined the investigation and will be looking into potential legal action regarding Latitude Financial Services, specifically over questions regarding historic data retention. It is believed to be one of the largest hacks against a financial institution, with personal sensitive information including the likes of people's names, addresses as well as their date of birth have been impacted by the hack. It is the latest in a string of public high-profile cyber attacks against major Australian companies, including the likes of Optus and Medibank, which were hacked last year. Now that's prompted cybersecurity expert CEO Rachel Falk to suggest that the onus does also lie on the companies themselves in making sure they're able to securely protect people's sensitive information.
Not just stringent fines, which is what we're seeing with the Privacy Act, but ensuring greater measures and that there are consequences right up the line. So it's not just a slap on the wrist, or it's not just anything else. That in fact, potentially directors, potentially looking at what management should be doing differently and whether there are real-world consequences. Because it isn't enough just to come out with a statement and some hand-wringing and to be potentially paying for high-risk customers. There should be far more expected of companies and their management and potentially directors in relation to ensuring that they satisfy themselves they're securing this data for them and their supply chain.
It does appear that the hack may have originated from one of Latitude's major vendors, but the AFP is still investigating the matter. The company, Latitude Financial, has agreed to reimburse people that are looking to replace their stolen identity and says that so far they haven't reported or observed any further suspicious activity since March 16th.
A former Special Forces soldier who's been charged with the war crime of murder in relation to his deployment to Afghanistan has been granted bail by a Sydney court. As part of his conditions, he has been banned from contacting former colleagues.
Oliver Schultz was arrested last week and became the first current or former Australian soldier to be charged with the war crime of murder. Footage of the raid at the centre of this case was broadcast in a 2020 episode of Four Corners, showing the alleged shooting of an Afghan man in 2012. In Sydney's Downing Centre local court, Magistrate Jennifer Atkinson today granted the 41-year-old bail after finding there were exceptional circumstances in the case to justify that decision. This comes after yesterday the veteran's lawyers argued he was at grave risk of harm while being held on remand because in jail he was likely to have to mix with people who sympathise with Islamic extremist groups. The magistrate accepted Mr Schultz was in a potentially dangerous position while he's in custody. His bail conditions include a ban on contacting ex-colleagues who were on the same rotation as him in Afghanistan in 2012. The magistrate also ordered a $200,000 security deposit and also imposed a nightly curfew and daily reporting restrictions where he has to report to police. Oliver Schultz appeared on an audio-visual link for his court hearing and he kept his eyes down as he learned that he was being granted bail. The magistrate told him his liberty is a result of her risk assessment and he had to be very careful to adhere to all of the multiple conditions. To that he replied, "Understood." The magistrate has also declined to make a non-publication order over his name as his lawyers requested yesterday. The case will return to court in May.
Imagine being told that vital services or products would cost you double or triple the amount charged to your friends or family. And that's what's happening to people on the NDIS. Participants say they've been charged a disability tax which is eating away at their plans.
It was a routine physio appointment from a regular service provider. The only difference, Ellie Des Marchelier had just been approved for the National Disability Insurance Scheme.
He told me that he was no longer going to charge me the regular rate that he was charging everyone else, including my own partner who saw him.
Instead, her regular bill became $180 more expensive. It's been dubbed the NDIS or disability tax, where prices are hiked sometimes double or triple the amount charged to people not on the NDIS.
Anything to do with a wedding or having a baby costs way more than what it actually should. It's the same with disability, except this is our entire lives. This isn't just one moment in time. This is every day of our lives.
But the consequences are far worse for people with disabilities.
This is not just a dollars conversation. This means less support for people with disability. This means less access to the community.
Providers are only allowed to charge up to a certain amount for services, which is laid out in the NDIS price guide. But participants say those prices are being charged as the standard rate.
They're using it as the floor, not the ceiling.
Some service providers argue the higher costs are necessary because extra certifications are needed, which can be time-consuming and costly.
Engagement in the NDIS by our professionals often does cost more money.
NDIS Minister Bill Shorten has vowed to crack down on price gouging.
Just because it's government money or the money of a person with disability doesn't mean that unscrupulous sellers should just try and rip them off.
Issues like the disability tax are expected to be addressed in the NDIS review currently underway. The review findings are due in October.
And that ends the news segment. We now have the weather forecast for the next 24 hours. You're watching TV1 News. Sports News is next with Terry Lonwood.
He says the best Hunters players come from his region. So does she. But there's one thing that brings everyone together. SB Lager, Bunyamyumi.
Wherever you're watching from, welcome aboard. Joining us on Chatline will be TVD. Oh, big hit there. It's got numbers on the outside, and Lucara goes in eventually. Oh, and they're claiming a try here, the Vipers. Still going inside ball. This is a beautiful try. This is champagne football here.
Right now, we're facing a man-made disaster of global scale. Our greatest threat in thousands of years, climate change. If we don't take action, the collapse of our civilizations and the extinction of much of the natural world is on the horizon.
Welcome to NRL 360 Rugby League.
Ready to rock town.
I think all the clubs are sitting out there and they're watching this with interest.
Welcome to East New York.
My name is Regina Haywood. Together, we're going to stem this violence in East New York.
Come back here!
Put the gun down! I've had all kinds of ideas. What should be done differently and what could be done better. Some of those ideas might actually work.
New series, East New York. Premieres April 4th, Tuesday, 9 p.m. on Warner TV.
Floating ball, Blake Seaver, there it is! All right, big kick coming up. Oh, here's the got his eyes on the try line, no one's going to catch him, shut the game.
Now the fullback, Mariah with a miracle pass on the outside, defensive caught. Backwards, so play on him, inside ball, to a Picky! Lightning speed! He sees the checkered flag in his victory at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix.
With Tony Arbolino taking his second win in the last 3 Grand Prix.
Handball's good, away going Oya, it's a kick, it's a goal!
And welcome back. In sports, Kumul and former PNG Hunters utility middle forward Emmanuel Weiner has made an instant impact since joining UK club London Broncos. 26-year-old Weiner, who played for the Kumuls at the recent Rugby League World Cup, was in pre-season with Wayne Bennett's Dolphins before linking up with the London outfit last month. After enjoying his first Rugby League World Cup in the UK during the autumn and then a couple of weeks pre-season training with new NRL club Dolphins, it was a whirlwind for Jiwaka native Emmanuel Wane, who's now linked up with fellow Kumul Wellington Albert after he was signed up by London Broncos. Wane is another international representative joining the Broncos squad following the signing of Italy forward Atan Natoli and Fijian halfback Henry Raiwalui. Since arriving in the UK, the former Hunters impact back rower has made an impression, scoring his first try on debut, a winning start to his new rugby league adventure. In his first media interview, Wane said though it was a bit difficult settling in back to the cold climate, he is really embracing the new culture at the moment. He said it was a quick turnaround for him, flying all the way from Brisbane to London, but the reception was welcoming at the club, especially having his PNG comrades around.
Oh yeah, it was really quick, like long hours flight back from Brisbane to London, and then my teammates are really helpful, like Wellington and Polly. They are really helpful to me in terms of training and the bus routine and the train routine. I have to, get into it. So they're really helpful.
Wane reflected on his first game as a Bronco and scoring the try, which was really exciting.
I was looking forward for the game, being away for the game that you're not playing for like 2-3 months. I was really keen to wear the jersey and then get into the field with the boys, and I got the opportunity, so I couldn't wait to give my best. So the results sold out on the weekend, so I was really excited to be part of the team too. So
Wane was so thankful for the management of the Broncos, who provided the team's training program before he arrived in the UK, which really helped him to stay on the same page with the rest of the playing group.
When I was told that I should come join the boys, I was given the training to be, get myself into the game. So when I was back in Brisbane and PNG, I did my own training, and then I was really looking forward for the game. So when I came here, it was like, I know I was ready to go. So it was good on the weekend.
The PNG Barramundis will be left with a stinking feeling after letting slip a golden opportunity for a first match victory against UAE. Both bat and ball, the Barramundis were in a position of strength to take the game but couldn't finish off. With the ball, PNG Chad Soper had a UAE on the ropes at 5 for 89, but a late order rally from the Emirates saw them post a competitive 260, a target not out of reach. With the bat, PNG had a perfect platform, sitting pretty at none for 146 of 20 overs. From there, it should have been an easy victory, but a string of low scores saw the Barramundis collapse and the UAE rode to victory by 21 runs. The result makes a risk of losing ODI status a notch higher. PNG will face host Namibia today in a high-stakes game. The Port Moresby corporate volleyball preseason have started with over 40 teams from various corporate organizations making a comeback after 3 years of absence. The competition was shelved in 2020 due to COVID-19. Season 23 is expected to be bigger as 20 more teams join the challenge.
On Sunday, the 26th of March, the POM Corporate Volleyball Competition pre-season got underway at the PNG Education Institute. Though a slow start, it was a good turnout for 2023 season start. Teams representing various organizations present at the courts were Digicel, Internal Revenue Commission, Investment Promotion Authority, Kina Bank, National Parliament, ANZ and City Pharmacy fielding in their teams. Under relaxed volleyball rules, the competition aims to bring workers together and socialize, promote fitness and most of all build on relations and unity among corporate bodies. Competition Vice President Henry Aika said about 40 teams have confirmed participation and more teams are expected to join as pre-season nets in.
At the moment we have 40 teams and the number is growing. We are intending to have about 50 teams next week Sunday. The competition was shelved in 2020, as we all know, due to the COVID pandemic. And with the great interest from the corporate organizations, the executive have decided to start the competition this year.
Strict guidelines and rules have been set for players to follow. Only workers and their spouses are allowed to take the court. Children and relatives will not be a part of the competition. Jasmine Nero, TVWAN Sports.
Aspiring young African martial artist Tebo Chipkolo would dearly love to represent PNG if he is picked for the national taekwondo team to this year's Pacific Games in the Solomon Islands. Unfortunately, his non-citizenship status would be an issue for the budding Zambian karate kid who recently took part in the Southern Region Taekwondo Championships in Port Moresby last month. Karate kid Tebo Chipkolo represented his Moresby Karate Club at the recent Southern Region Taekwondo Championships held at the Tarama Aquatic Center, Port Moresby. Tebo, in his early 20s, originally hails from Zambia in Africa. He lives with his parents and two younger siblings in Port Moresby since 2019. The young, energetic Zambian athlete is a student at Paradise College and loves martial arts. Tebo said when growing up he was so obsessed with watching cartoons and fight movies. One of his favorites was Bruce Lee movies. Tebo said he gets a lot of inspiration and joy watching Lee fighting his opponents and other objects and wanted to experience it. Tebo said he's been doing karate for the past 3 years and always working hard to perfect the art. At the recent Southern Region Championships, Tebo was up against his own teammate Rivu Rivu. Both came from the same karate club but wanted to use taekwondo for experience, fitness and to harness their skills and techniques.
I went against my teammate who was now my opponent in a taekwondo competition, though we are karatekas. I've been doing karate for about nearly 3 years now, though it's still 2 years and a half.
Tebo admitted he is short-tempered, but the sport has helped him to control his emotions and build strong discipline.
So from when I was young, usually most children from when they're young are always watching cartoons and just normal TV shows for children like CBBS. But from when I was young, I've always liked fighting action movies like Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee, and I've always wanted to feel what it's like to fight. And I've always had that. Usually, I can be honest. Sometimes I'm short-tempered, but I won't really show it. And if it gets very worse, I get quite aggressive. So I think that's where it comes from, the fighting and all that.
He said fighting against his teammate at the championships for the first time was tough, but he has taken a lot of positive out of it for the PNG Games. Tebo's next goal is representing PNG at the Pacific Games, but being a non-citizen, that might remain an elusive dream.
Well, my goal I'd love to be in the national team and fight in the Pacific Games, although I am not a PNG citizen, so I cannot do that. But my goal definitely now would be to fight in the PNG Games and do better than I did in representing NCD and making the team win.
Pascals FC are back-to-back champions of the Lay Biscuit-sponsored annual Toti Cup soccer tournament in Lay, Morbe Province. The fourth Toti Cup, ending Monday, 27 March, came down to Pascal FC of Lay City, trailing 1 in the first half of the Midwest FC of Medang, who made an impression on their first show in the Toti Cup. It was the Pascals who had much more stamina and control, easing with come into the second half to equalize through a corner kick header by Golden Boot awardee Alex Kamen. Kamen was superb throughout the tournament, scoring in all-round matches and leading the boys into the cup finals, never easing to impress, convincingly earning him the Toti Cup Golden Boot as well as a show call-up to the Lay City FC trial team for season 2024. Tied 1-1 on the full-time siren and heading for the first half of extra time, Kamen proved to be the pivot, positioning himself well within confines to increase Pascal's lead to 2-1 in extra time. Pascals maintained composure, denying Midwest a shot at goal, walking out victorious at the remainder of extra time, winning 2-1 and claiming their second Toti Cup championship. Lay Biscuit Company sports editor Idris Kumbrua admitted it was a big turnout of 45 teams participating, as well as bigger tasks to deal with over the tournament duration. But he thanked the Lay Biscuit Company and owner Yen Chow to have stood behind the success of the tournament. Kumbrua said a train and trial team list will be released next week to be called up by the head coach Bob Morris for assembling. Morris confirmed the search for better and raw talents continues for the Lay City FC into the off-season period ahead of the proposed National Premier League competition of PNG soccer. And that's all the sports for now. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Terry. Before we go, remember to apply the following simple measures to prevent transmission of the coronavirus. Regularly wash your hands with soap and water, cough or sneeze into your elbow, and exercise social distancing. If you're feeling sick, please stay at home. You can also call the COVID-19 hotline number for more information or assistance. Thanks for your company. Bye for now.
Bye.
The TVWAN News was proudly brought to you by
BSP, our bank, our people.